would have failed. Alright, what's good everyone? Welcome back to a new YouTube video. In this video, we're going to be breaking down how I got just over 160 points trading my 30-minute Power 3 model, and also how I made just over $24,000 copy trading on TradeCopia. If you want to link to that on how to copy trade, feel free to check out the link in my bio, as I do have an affiliate code with them, code FEAR. But yeah, we're going to be breaking down how I got just over 160 points, which was also the entire manipulation move for our daily Power 3. So pretty much just going to be breaking down our time frame structure, our time frame narrative, and an overall review of today. And before then, we're going to be showing you guys the trade recording, and then we'll just talk after that.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. Yeah, the magician's assistant in their dream. And they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Is this movie that I think you like? This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself. She's been living on the highest shelf. And they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Yeah, I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Alright, so first things first, we have to go over my pre-market analysis. So within my pre-market analysis, I essentially gave the entire movement which I was looking for before market had even opened. Now, I no longer do live trading as I once did, but perhaps it will be brought back in the future. Nonetheless, I make my analysis very, very clear. Every single trade I take is based off of the pre-market analysis that I post beforehand. So I'm in CST. This was posted at 9:15 EST. We can see right here that I stated that we have two-stage SMT at the highs above our true week open and true day open. So immediately to support shorts, we have valid manipulation above our current true opens. with back-to-back SMT at the highs. And the main significance of this is the unbalanced range below, with the unbalanced range that was left behind from the previous day, which was Monday, which we had strictly expanded higher. But I'm put it very simple that going into AM session, I want to short, as there's additionally PPI data high. However, and just for reference, we're going to go back to that right now. We had a PPI data high at 8:30, market opened right here at 9:30. I didn't want to see that get hit. And the big question that we may have is, why would I not want that to be hit? And the most simple aspect is because we're in right now a rather bullish market. We're not necessarily bearish, even though we had strong expansion lower last week. Something in which we have to keep in mind is that we just completed a 4-hour market maker sell model. As you can see right here, back-to-back monthly power threes, completing a 4-hour market maker sell model. I recapped this on my TikTok, actually, giving a quick breakdown of it. But with understanding that this recent expansion leg lower was not to continue being bearish, but instead to complete a 4-hour market maker buy model, we can now inherently have a more open bias in terms of longs. We can be more open to longs playing out. And I was keeping that in mind the entire time. So right now, market is not necessarily bullish, not necessarily bearish, but recent price action throughout the development of our weekly power three, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We want to see continuation of that distribution. So right now, market is relatively bullish. And what made the most amount of sense to me would be that market opens 9:30, manipulates down to the previous day's unbalanced range EQ, and then expands higher off of there, leaving alone the PPI data high as a clear draw on liquidity for later if longs were in fact to play out. And obviously we can see that I got that perfectly correct, but nonetheless I didn't take longs, I took shorts. And truthfully, even if there was a setup for, even if I was looking for longs strictly, there was no valid setup for my model. Specifically what I'd seen at market open, we're going to quickly recap that. So again, we already talked about two-stage at the highs. We'll go back to the last thing I said in my pre-market. I said that ideally we form micro, which is a quarterly theory concept referring to the micro cycle. And then from there, we drop down to EQ of the range. Now, I'm not going to cover too much about quarterly theory in this video, but I will specifically show what microcycle sequential SMT is, just to give you guys a bit of a heads up. And for those who don't know what sequential SMT is, feel free to check out the server. This is completely free. As going into today, actually, I'm opening up my lifetime mentorship. And just in preparation of that, I just wanted to give an example of how I teach. So I published my sequential SMT video. So if you want to know what sequential SMT is, go to my server, check out this video, and then that will make the microcycle sequential SMT make sense. And anyways, we'll go back here, go to this market open, and actually I'll open up my other chart just so you guys can clearly see the cycles. So directly going into New York Open, as we're going to show back here. 9:30 opens up, and immediately we manipulate, or immediately we expand lower. And initially, I was potentially going to look to short off this. As we can see right here at 9:31, we're going to see, you might have seen on my recording of my trade that I dropped down to the 15-second time frame, and I was looking to potentially short on the 15-second. For reference, what I was looking at was the cracking correlation with the previous 1-minute high. Up here, we can see that NQ puts in a failure swing, while YM and ES both run out the previous 1-minute high. That was then causing me to look to the 15-second time frame and potentially going to enter off the next 15-second CISD, but we had never got that. Now, when it comes to the microcycle sequential SMT, the whole basis of as to why I was immediately shorting the market open, we can find that here. It is simply NQ running out, or ES running out the Q1 high right here and here during Q2, while we look over here in YM, same thing, while NQ puts in a failure swing. This is our microcycle sequential SMT. We could then get that, SMT the previous 1 minute high, validating me to drop down to a 15-second, but we go back to the 15-second time frame. There was no 15-second CISD. So there's nothing here you could have possibly taken. There's nothing that could have been faked. There was no opportunity whatsoever. Instead, all I did was allow for more structure to develop, and from there we got a 1 minute CISD. And we can see right here, there's no 1 minute crack completion at the highs. All we had was Micro Cycle Sequential SMT, and no 1 minute crack completion, so we're not dropping down to a 15-second time frame. But on the 1 minute time frame, we have a potential 1 minute CISD. And you may have seen in the recording that I entered off of that, even though we didn't close below. Why did I do that? In the most simple aspect, I got a little bit unlucky. I got lucky, but unlucky. I got unlucky that so for reference, I had entered my position. I clicked sell 1 second before the candle closed, and that was when price was like down here. 1 second before we closed, and immediately we pumped right back up like 4 points in that second. And due to that, that caused me to enter premature to the official CISD, and nonetheless I still held it because, again, everything else still clicked here, everything else still aligned. It made sense for price to go lower still, so I got filled there. Stop loss was at the high, TP was at EQ of the range. And just for reference as to what EQ of the range is, what range are we drawing? We're drawing out the previous day high and the previous day low, giving us a range that is time-based. Previous day low, previous day high, expansion, unbalanced range below. We're looking for price to trade back down into EQ of that, and we can see that NQ, ES, and YM, all of them are unbalanced. Not a single one have returned back to EQ that range. As you can see, YM had engineered liquidity right above it. So not a single one had returned to EQ the range, so it made it a dead obvious drawn liquidity. Anyways, that was my official entry. Even if I didn't get filled there, had I waited for the 1 minute candle to close, I would have entered on this candle either way. It didn't really matter, as that's the official CISD, but that was my entry. Now we can see right here that after price had reached EQ the range, we ended up reversing, putting in a new high of the day, giving us a classic bullish daily power 3 development: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. As simple as it gets. Previous day expanded, unbalanced range, we rebalance that range, classic AMD pattern within our daily power 3 to confirm continuation higher, and that is literally it. Literally it. All I was doing was playing the manipulation of our daily power 3 to then play continuation higher. But as you can see right here, for those who know what my model is, think they know what my model is, you can see right here that there's no lower time frame calculation whatsoever. So no entry was confirmed for me. There was SMT, but it's a different type of SMT, and it's quarterly theory related, so I'm not going to go over it. But nonetheless, there was no opportunity for me to switch to longs, and I really didn't need to, as I already got all my profits for the day. But again, even if I was bullish, there was nothing I could have possibly taken. There wasn't even a crack calculation with the previous 1 minute low at the low of the range. But anyways, we can see from there, we ended up expanding higher, all the way up to the data high and also the previous day high. And that concluded today's daily power 3 for Tuesday. In terms of outlook for tomorrow, we'll quickly go over the news. So tomorrow we have 8:30 unemployment claims, and Thursday we have Thanksgiving. So tomorrow is a little bit iffy, to be honest. Day before bank holiday, it should be decent price action, but in terms of higher time frame bias, as of now, nothing is too dead obvious. We do not, I want to confirm this, as of now, we do not have SMT with the previous week high, but chances are ES and YM, all the way up here, are going to continue drawing to the previous week high. So going into tomorrow, chances are we continue up to there. Potentially we form SMT with NQ, because NQ is kind of lagging behind, form SMT with there, and potentially return lower, but we'll see. I mean, pretty much it's going to be 50-50 based off of how we react once the previous week high is rated. But as of now, immediate focus is for YM and ES to return up to the previous week high, and potentially NQ to follow that. But otherwise, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. ask that in the comments below, or join the server, ask in there. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys all in the next video.